Buying a home in BC can feel a lot like you're writing a test that you didn't study for. Only the wrong answers, they can cost you thousands of dollars. You're expected to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life based on advice from Google, your friends, or maybe that one cousin who knows a guy, right? And let's be honest, most of that information is outdated, it's biased, or it's just flat out wrong. Now, here's what most people don't realize. The process, it doesn't slow down and walk you through it all. It moves very quickly. The listing agent is working for the seller and only the seller. So if you don't have the right representation, it's very easy to feel like you're always one step behind. And that's why a lot of smart and capable buyers, they end up overwhelmed, they're second guessing everything, and they're not really sure who they can trust. But it does not have to be that way. Whether it's your very first time buying, or maybe you're buying for the first time in this type of a market, I've worked with a lot of people who felt totally overwhelmed right at the start, and then they ended up with a home that they loved and a deal that felt really good. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to buying a home in British Columbia the right way. All right. So we're going to cover things like why your bank's pre-approval might actually be a trap for you, how to choose the right real estate agent, and how to avoid getting stuck doing this all on your own. Also, what most buyers get wrong when it comes to offers and to negotiations, and how to protect yourself from the common pitfalls, things like subject-free offers and low appraisals coming in. And then by the end of this video, you're going to know what to do, who to trust, and how to move forward with confidence. So there's going to be no fluff, no pressure, just the kind of advice that I would want if I were in your shoes. And if you're buying your very first home, you're just starting out, and you want to avoid some of the most common and most expensive first-time homebuyer mistakes, you're going to want to check out my No BS First-Time Homebuyer Masterclass. There's a link in the description box below, and it covers everything that your bank and the listing agent will not tell you. All right, so let's jump into this. Now, before you even start scrolling listings, we've got to talk about your budget. And I don't just mean the number that the bank hands you, right? I'm talking about your real budget, the number that actually fits your lifestyle, your comfort zone, and your long-term goals. That's really important because here's the deal. The bank does not care if you've got daycare expenses, a car payment, or, if you want to take a vacation once a year. They're just going to be looking at your debt ratios. And that's why it's so very important that you work with a mortgage broker, not just your bank, okay? Because a good mortgage broker, they're going to do some things for you. They're going to shop the market and get you the best rates and the best terms. They're also going to flag. They're going to flag red flags early so that you're not blindsided later on down the road. And they're also going to actually take the time to go through your full financial review up front before you ever even write an offer. That one step could mean the difference between getting your home or possibly losing it at the very last second because your financing fell through, right? And by the way, just like a buyer's agent, mortgage brokers are free to use. So really, why wouldn't you? Also, there's a link to my Mortgage Secrets Guide in the description box below. In it, I share a whole bunch of different ways that you can save literally tens of thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your mortgage. So you want to make sure that you check that out. All right. Now that you know what you can comfortably afford, the next step is making sure that you've got the right person in your corner to guide you through the entire process. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't realize, and that is in BC, the listing agent, they cannot represent you as the buyer. So you need to understand that the listing agent works for the seller and for the seller only. All right. So if you're buying, you've got two options. You can either hire your own agent or you can go unrepresented. Now, technically, you can do it alone, right? But it's kind of like walking into a courtroom without a lawyer. You are allowed to do it, of course, but you probably shouldn't, right? Because A great buyer's agent, they're going to do some things for you. They're going to represent your best interests right from day one. They're also going to be there to help you avoid costly mistakes and emotional decisions. And they will walk you through the entire process so that you're not flying blind. And again, there is no cost to you as the buyer, right? You do not pay a fee and you do not pay a commission to use a buyer's agent because that is all taken care of on the seller side. But here's the thing, not all buyer's agents are equal. Some agents, they have experience, they know how to spot red flags early, they know how to negotiate terms, how to protect your best interests, and they can walk you through every step of the process so that you never feel like you're left guessing, right? Instead, they're going to be there to help empower you to make confident and informed decisions from start to finish. Whereas other maybe less experienced or undertrained agents might be basically trying to figure out everything as they're working on your specific deal. And that's not the kind of risk that you really want to take, is it? So you want to make sure that you take the time when choosing who you are going to work with. Ask people who they trust. Read reviews, watch how they communicate online, because all of that, finding the right agent, it won't just help you find the right home. They're also going to be there to help you avoid regret from buying the wrong one. Now, once you know that you've got a solid agent in your corner, the next step is going to be figuring out what you're looking for. And just as importantly, what you are not looking for. So this becomes the stage where a lot of buyers start to spin out of control, right? You're going to hop on realtor.ca or REW and you're going to start clicking through everything that looks okay. And before you know it, you've got 40 tabs open, no real strategy and no clear idea what you're actually looking for. Now look, I get it, right? It's tempting to jump in and start searching online. But I can tell you from experience that it usually ends up doing more harm than good because it wastes a lot of time and emotional energy as well. And more often than not, it just leaves buyers feeling more confused than when they started that process. Here's a better way to approach it. You want to have your agent set up for you a proper search directly on the MLS. So a search that's built around your needs, right? Your needs. So you want to start off a little bit broad and then use the power of elimination to get you more focused over time. So please do not try and find the perfect home right out of the gate. Because the truth is, the perfect home, it just does not exist. It's a fantasy. Your job is to find the best fit for your needs and for your lifestyle. And the fastest way that you can do that is by eliminating the types of homes that will not work. So work with your agent and rule out the areas that don't make sense, rule out the layouts or the features that don't work for you and your family. And also, are there properties out there with restrictions that would be a deal breaker, such as, 55 plus buildings, or if you need 2 parking and there's only 1 parking space, or perhaps pet policies that don't accommodate that dog of yours? These are the filters that the public sites, they often miss, or, they just don't show up clearly, right? So you want to start off broad, pay attention to what shows up, and then very quickly you can start cutting out what does not work. Because every no is going to bring you one step closer to a solid yes. And remember this, your must-haves and your nice-to-haves, those might shift a little bit as you start seeing real homes. And that is completely normal, okay? A good agent, they're going to help you stay focused and grounded so that you're not wasting your time. You're not getting emotionally attached to places that were never a fit in the first place either. All right, now once you've narrowed things down and you know what it is you're looking for, it's time to hit the ground running, but without burning yourself out in the process. And this is where things start to get really exciting, right? But also it's where people start to burn out very fast. So understand that you do not need to see 20 homes in one day. In fact, that's one of the worst things that you can do because every home, well, it starts to blur together. They all start to blur together as one. And then you just end up feeling sort of lost and overwhelmed. Instead, turn homes in small batches, all right? 3 to 5 homes at a time. That's it. And make sure that you take notes as well. That way you can actually compare what you're seeing and the whole process is going to feel a lot less exhausting for you. And also, because you've already taken the time to eliminate what does not work, your agent should now be sending you listings that actually fit. So you are not now wasting your time or theirs. Instead, you're going to be looking at homes that fit. And you can do that right from the get-go. Now, depending on the market, you might need to move a little bit more quickly in some areas than others. Other areas you may have a little bit more time to think things through. But either way, please don't be afraid to keep refining your search criteria as you go. That's just part of the process, okay? It's not being indecisive. And of course, if you need some help or you have some questions, there is a link in the description box below where you can book a call with me and we can have a chat about your specific situation. Also, while you're down there, if you're getting any value from this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps me get the word out to other people just like you looking for this type of information. All right, so now that you've found the place that has checked all of the right boxes, now it comes time to one of the most important moments in the entire process, and that is writing the offer. Now, this part isn't just about picking a price, right? It's about strategy. Every offer also includes things like closing dates and timelines, conditions, things like, financing, inspection, or review of the strata documents, right? And of course, specific clauses are also going to be written in there, and they're all designed to protect your best interests. Now, this is where your agent really needs to shine, because not every agent knows how to negotiate well, or how to write a clean, strong offer that is going to protect you. So you want someone who knows things. They knows how to structure the offer in a way that gives the seller confidence in that offer. Also, how to protect your interests without jeopardizing the deal, and how to position you as the best buyer and not just the one offering the most money. Now, once the offer is accepted, you're not quite done just yet. This next step is where you lock in the deal, or perhaps you walk away if something's off, right? Once your offer is accepted, now the clock is ticking. You've usually got 5 to 7 business days to do your due diligence, which means you're going to want to finalize your mortgage, you're going to be booking and completing a home inspection, and if it's a condo or a townhouse, reviewing the strata documentation, and then of course lining up your insurance, your property insurance. Now, this is your last window to walk away with your deposit intact if something major comes up. So please take it very seriously and make sure that everything checks out. And once you're very comfortable, you can remove your subjects, pay the deposit, and the deal becomes firm. And at this point, you're in the home stretch. Now, with all of the hard parts behind you, here's how to wrap it all up and get the keys. Between subject removal and possession date, you're going to need to sign off on the final mortgage documents with your lender. You're going to need to meet with your lawyer or your notary to finalize the legal side of things. And then you're going to set up your home insurance, your utilities, internet, basically everything ready for you to move in. Now, there are 2 important dates that you need to understand and differentiate. So those are the completion date and the possession date. So the completion date is when the money and the ownership of the property officially changes hands. And then the possession date, that usually happens a day or 2 later. And that is when you get the keys and you actually get to move in. And then just like that, you are a new homeowner. Now, before we wrap up, I want to quickly touch on a few risks that buyers often don't see coming. The first one is subject-free offers. Okay, so in hot markets, sellers sometimes will expect subject-free offers. But if you're not fully prepared, financially, legally, strategically, it can backfire big time. So make sure that your agent walks you through how to reduce your risk without exposing yourself here. The second one is pre-construction condos. Now, these seem pretty simple on the surface, but there are all kinds of hidden risks. There's financing delays, construction delays, and fine print that can leave you stuck, all right? So I cover all of that very much in detail in another video here on the channel, but just so you're aware. And the third thing is low appraisals. So just because your offer gets accepted, it doesn't mean that your lender is going to agree with the price. And if the appraisal comes in low, it could put your financing at risk. So you want to make sure that you've got a buffer and a mortgage broker who knows how to navigate all that sort of thing. Okay, so if you're thinking about buying a home in BC or anywhere in Canada and you want some real advice based on your situation, let's have a conversation. You can book a call with me using the link in the description box below. There's no pressure, just a straightforward conversation to help point you in the right direction and help you move forward with confidence. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.